Okay, we need to find the midpoint between the two given points, right? The ordered pairs given represent points on a graph. And if we think about 2 points, let's just put 2 random points, somewhere in between there is a midpoint, right? There is a point that's right in the middle. That's what we're trying to find. Okay, so there is a formula for this, and really it involves just simply finding the average of the x values and the average of the y values. Okay, so the midpoint is given by finding the average of the x values. Well, how do you find an average? You add the values together, then divide by however many of those values you have. So in this case, we have 2 x values, and first x and a second x, and we're going to divide that by 2. When we do that, we'll get the x value of the midpoint. All right, and we have 2 y values. Oh, look at me writing a 1 right here when I meant to write a 2. There we go. y1 plus y2 over 2. Okay, that's the formula for the midpoint. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, I'm going to say 0 plus negative 2/3 divided by 2, and 1/5 plus 0 divided by 2, right? I added the x values and I added the y values. Okay, so 0 plus negative 2/3 is negative 2/3 over 2. We're going to have to deal with that in a second. 1/5 plus 0 is 1/5 over 2. We'll deal with that as well. All right, so let's look at this negative 2/3 over 2. That's saying negative 2/3 divided by 2, or 2 over 1. And remember, when you divide by a fraction, what you're really doing is multiplying by that fraction's reciprocal. Okay, so I'm going to say negative 2/3 times 1 over 2. Okay, that's all we have to do. So negative 2 times 1 on top is negative 2. 3 times 2 on the bottom is 6. I can reduce that to negative 1/3. Okay, that would be the x value. Now for the y value, 1/5 divided by 2 is the same thing as 1/5 times 1 over 2, right? Because that's 2 over 1. You flip it over to get the reciprocal, and then you multiply. Okay, the top, 1 times 1 is 1. The bottom, 5 times 2 is 10. So 1/10. So there's my midpoint. Negative 1/3, comma, 1 over 10.